In order to keep its banking system going, the Eurogroup is now pushing Greece to basically privatize every single asset that the country owns to come up with more money. It seems that the austere measures that are being imposed on Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras are not enough. This is why Greece creditors are being forced to establish what is called ambitious pension reforms and measures to make the system more affordable. And Margaret, this is sure to infuriate the Greeks that just a few days ago they decided to not support the bailout and the austerity measures. And what happens is that he goes into negotiations and he gets bullied into accepting even a worse deal than the one that started off the whole conundrum in the first place.
I mean, Jose, with all due respect, who cares if this is going to infuriate the Greeks? They've done this to themselves. They defaulted on major loans, and you mentioned privatization. What's wrong with privatizing industries? How else are they going to generate any tax revenue? I mean, that la-la land of utopia, everything is public. Nobody pays for that. I mean, the bill has arrived, and unfortunately, they might have to readjust the way that they think in order to function, not only in the EU, but to save themselves.
I'll have to disagree, because the reality is that, let's use Germany as an example. The reality is that Germany was able to recover because they got the debt relief that they're denying the Greeks. And there's nothing wrong with privatizing. What is wrong is having other countries come to you and say, we're going to afford you to privatize. Let me tell you what they want Greece to do. First, they want to do an ambitious pension reform. That's what they're calling it. Basically, what it is not paying people what they already work for. Most of them working for German companies.
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. That shouldn't be. Another way that they're trying to do is they're trying to make everything that is available for the Greek government to become private. That means selling islands, selling public industries like the healthcare system. They are pushing them to open up. But what is the problem? It's like a jar sale. Everything in Greece right now is devaluated. So it's a great grab bag for any bank that has some money and say like, oh, I'll buy it to super cheap price. And who's the people really, really affected? The Greek people. Those who are living on 60 euros a day, because the central bankers that are using 60 euros a day to tip people around are deciding that they need to sell out the country for them to maintain their lifestyle. And I think that's what is at the core of it. That's what is wrong with this world policy of you owe, well, you pay, because Germany, we owe, but everybody forgive us, and now we can make you pay.
Okay.
I think that's BS.
I mean, predatory creditors, they're disgusting. There's no question about that. They shouldn't be allowed to take advantage of the situation that the Greeks find themselves in. But the Greeks are smart people. I mean, it's not like, they have to start from somewhere. I have faith in this, in what they're about to embark on. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And Cyprus, I mean, they're responsible. I'm sorry, that's the hammer. It's come down, and they have to deal with it. Now, you mentioned Germany. What Germany was able to do, they didn't repay their debts, and now they're trying to force the Greeks into doing it. That's wrong. Everybody knows it's wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, they're not the ones that are defaulting on serious loans. Their economy is not in jeopardy here. We're talking about the Greeks.
Well, latest
they have
reports,
to start from somewhere.
Latest reports actually are looking into making sure that there's no responsibility on the bankers that actually allow for these loans, original loans, to go out to Greece that obviously didn't have
That's
the conditions
unfortunate.
to pay. That's abusive. That's not unfortunate. That's abusive from
and
the central
criminal.
banks and from
I would agree with you.
And also, what the Eurogroup is trying to do, which is really scary, is that saying, well, if you can't monetize by privatizing your assets, what we're going to ask you is to sell your gold. But that's and they will say, okay, we'll sell our reserves, and that's it. The problem is that if you sell your gold reserves, then you cannot create your own money. And then that is kind of hijacking Greece from their boat that the people went out and say, we don't want austerity, we don't want the bailout. But now they're going to be forced to sell their gold so they cannot mint drachmas anymore if they wanted to do that. So I think that they are being bullied. Other thing that is really, really weird is why would you, a new power, a new political party on power, and you go to the negotiations and say, I'm not taking that bailout, it's wrong, I'm going to call for for a referendum. My people say, no, we don't want that. You go in and you come back with an even worse deal than the one that you started the whole deal.
Okay.
So
I mean,
there's something going on behind the scenes that I don't really think is clean. I think Alexis Tsipras had the intention of upholding the will of the people, and then went into that negotiation and he got bullied, if not threatened, to accept a really, really bad deal for the Greek people.
They're not in a bargaining position. That is the point. They're not in a position of strength. They don't have any bargaining chips. I mean,
but we're talking about the lives of people that is in Greece right now suffering, and their fate decided by some rich bankers in Europe. That's something to think about. Let us know how you feel, and please subscribe to the Lib TV.